As a distinguished Toastmaster twice, David has given more than 750 speeches. Wow. He is the current Program Quality Director of District 64. He's also a member of 6 Toastmasters Club, including Speakers Bureau, connecting proficient speakers with the needs of his community. He's an accomplished author and speaker with Keystone Speakers. David is currently working towards his accredited speaker designation from Toastmasters International. There are only 81 Toastmasters worldwide of over 357,000 Toastmasters who carry this honor of distinction. Please help me welcome and warm round of welcome to David Woodcock.
I want to thank you all for staying to listen to me talk to you today about contests. I hope today that we will have an interaction as well on the topic of contests. It's just not about me standing up here, but it's to get your feedback and your impressions and your thoughts and your questions out to me, but also to everyone else that's in the room, because maybe they have the same question. So this is the current rule book. Everyone that is either a contest chair or a chief judge will have this book. This is the current one. This is the one you should be using for this round of contests. We've already started and are completed our club contests. So now we're looking at moving on to the area and then division and district. Types of speech contests. Evaluation, table topics, tall tales, humorous, international. The two that we're doing, of course, as you know, the humorous and international. But as a district, other than international, we can do up to 3 other contests. We've chosen this year just to do the humorous, because we've been removed from actually doing those as part of a convention in the fall. Doesn't mean that we still can't have contests in the fall. So we are looking at that moving forward for next year, which will get us ready again for the international that comes in the springtime, because we will be still doing our videotaping. So here we are. These are our dates. Just a reminder. Right? So now we're on to area, division will follow, and of course, the district. So I want to remind everyone today that the tracker that is online, please go in there and put in your details. I did mention it during our district meeting, but I want to make sure that everyone is in there and entering that information. Because what that means is that you've now advertised. And people throughout the district, and Toastmasters throughout the district, can now see and go, hey, I want to go to that area contest. I want to go to that division contest. Because the details are there. So you may get people just showing up from the district. Okay. So let's have a little bit of interaction on what do you think the keys for success are for having a successful contest. I've given you a little bit here, but I have a lot more on my second page. But I want to get some feedback from you today about what you think it takes to have a successful contest. Go ahead. Sorry? Participants. Absolutely. Number 1.
Judges. Communication.
Knowledgeable people.
Always communication, that's right. So in order to get things rolling, the preparation, you need to have the communication between not only speakers, judges, and the clubs, but everyone involved in a contest. David?
Knowledgeable people.
Knowledge. Knowledge. So what does that mean? Can you expand on that just a little bit? Knowledge.
People who understand what it takes to run a club contest, i.e. people that are here learning about it, people who are experienced and have knowledge that way from past contests.
Yep. So from that, there's a lessons learned, right? Like some things maybe didn't go so well, so next time, let's try this. Or, geez, we charged our judges. But you know what? Let's not be charging our judges. So we learned not to charge our judges because they are traveling a distance to come and help you. So for them to show up at the door and then you have charged them, we as a district have talked about this, our leadership, and we believe that in order to get judges, don't charge them. Yes?
Why doesn't the district pay for the judges?
The district, that's an interesting question. Certainly, we haven't placed it in our budget to say that we're going to support in that way. Is it something that we should look at? Absolutely. But we don't have it in our budget current year to say, yeah, we can do that. Because we actually, I don't even know that that's been thought of. So that's a good question, and that's why we're here, right? To talk about these things. Can you send me an email on that, Wayne? No, I mean just so that so it's top of mind. Yes, Jenny.
I'm just going to say we've actually reduced the cost at a lot of the contests now. It used to be pretty much even $30 to go to a contest, so it was extreme. Now we've reduced it, so it's a lot better.
Yeah, which is good because what happens is you get what? An audience. Why would you have a speech contest if you don't have an audience? Right, so you really want an audience. And not only the ones supporting the contestants, but those that are just wanting to show up to hear people speak competitively. So the lower that you can make it, generally the better. But you don't want to be at a loss either. So if you're charging $5, $7.50, maybe up to $10, that's your max, I would say. $10. But you better have something, extraordinary for them to eat if you're charging $10 already.
David?
Yes.
You need timers.
You need timers, ballot counters, judges. Trained. Right. And I'm actually going to get to that part. So we'll kind of leave that one for a moment. So I have a few here at the start, which is read and understand the rule book for the contest chairs and the judges, but also we went to great strides this year to ensure that our scripts were good. Katrina Younger and myself went through and spent an inordinate amount of time ensuring that the scripts that are available for contest chairs, judges, in their briefings are good. So we put those there for a reason. So when you're doing your contest, please look at those and use those. Because then what happens? It shows you're prepared and it shows that you're taking this very seriously for the contestants and for everyone that's in the room, that you're really prepared. Gerald? You got some?
I'll wait a little further, but
Okay.
if you don't do it, I'll ask.
Okay. So you want to make sure that you have your scripts. So then when the contest chair's there, so I was speaking mostly about the briefing, but now the contest chair has a script. So we want you to use the script as contest chairs. Don't worry, in Toastmasters, you are allowed to read.
Yes.
You are. You're allowed to read. You don't have to do everything from up here. You can read, but I caution you, when you're reading, you still have an audience. Okay? So when you're reading, what's happening? There can be a disconnect. So you don't want that disconnect to happen. So when you're reading, make sure that you engage the audience still. Right? It sounds simple to do, but sometimes we get focused on what we're reading instead of, the audience. So that's where the preparation comes in. You have the scripts, have a look at them before the contest. Generally know your way around in the script. It helps. Advertise. How many of us advertise our contests? No one. Janet, okay. Yes, I shouldn't say no one, but there's very few. Because what's the purpose of a contest? Allowing proficient speakers to be competitive in speaking, right? But this is a perfect opportunity to showcase what we do in Toastmasters besides doing speeches for our clubs. It takes it to another level. And we want to showcase that level and say, look, these are proficient speakers within our area, within our division, and within our district. So if you advertise, you're going to get people that maybe are not Toastmasters, but they come out because they want to see this. And guess what that does? It now links the contest to someone that might join a club. And isn't that what we're trying to do? We're trying to build and grow. And so if you're advertising your contest, then you have a potential to grow. Anyone that belongs to Facebook would certainly know, and that's just one of the social medias, a lot of other districts and clubs are advertising on Facebook. I see it all the time. I'm on Facebook quite a bit now, and certainly I see the advertisements being done. I wish this would. Here's some more. For preparation, you want to have what? A good agenda or a program. You want to make sure your venue is a good venue for size and layout. Ensure you have an active host club. So that means a club in your division or area is taking on the responsibility to say, you know what, we're going to put on that contest. And what's it do for that club? It gets the members engaged in contests. Maybe you have members in your club that, I don't like contests. That's fine, but you can still help out. You can still help out at the contest. So you're not a speaker or a contestant, that's fine. Help out in the contest. Allow travel. Allow travel. Our district is quite expansive, and we all know this. But if you're going to have an evening contest and you have people driving 2 hours, is that setting up for success or failure? Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of us that have to drive long distances, so you want to have those contests more on a weekend, specifically a Saturday. Food and beverages. People come, they pay money. What are they getting? They're getting the entertainment of the speeches, but a lot of times you want to have some beverages or some food for them so that they are, fed and happy. Determine costs including charge to attendees. Determine costs. So you want to make sure that as a club, if you're hosting, you want to make sure that you have somewhat of a budget to work with when you're hosting. That's what I'm getting at with that. Determine eligible contest officials. So how would you do that? How would you ensure that you have eligible contest officials?
Know the rules.
Yeah. Yes. Get them ahead of time. Plan. Have a look. Say, oh, yeah, you're eligible. Oh, you're a judge? Okay. Did you take the judges training? No. But in the past, we've actually still used those people. And because we've been stuck, right? There's been times you get there, you go, oh, crap. Somebody didn't show up, or, all the planning you've done still ends up that you need a judge that hasn't taken the training. Now, are they a seasoned? Yeah. Yes. At area division, the judges will be trained. We have a listing, and so we're not really concerned about that, but in the past it has happened, and we want to try to stay away from that. Audience members are welcome. So in other words, if you get somebody that's come from afar and they're a Toastmaster, or someone that's not in the area or division and they come, or someone that comes that is a non-Toastmaster. So what am I saying? Anyone that comes to your contest, if you're hosting, please greet them and make sure that they're welcome. Hey, great, thanks for coming. Yes.
You've got it right here.
Yeah.
You've got a non-Toastmaster,
Yep.
okay? And you're scrambling. Would you have a problem with them picking up the ballots?
Yes.
Yeah, not a non-Toastmaster. It has to be a it has to be a Toastmaster.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you, sometimes, I tell you.
in good standing.
You're okay in Winnipeg sometimes, I'm not saying you're not.
Yeah.
But when you're where we are, there's not enough. Come, I'm sorry.
No. So this,
Yeah.
we are
I
going
know
to
what
make
you're
sure.
saying now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to verify. that.
Yeah, no, the idea of, anybody that's an official of a contest has to be a member in good standing. And the club has to be a good club in standing. You can't just have anybody doing any of the roles without being a Toastmaster.
Thanks, David.
Yeah. And contestants are treated fairly. What does that mean?
You treat everyone the same.
No bias.
No bias.
No bias.
Yes, but I'm speaking right for the preparation. How can you treat someone fairly?
Ensure they all get the same information at the
Bingo.
same time.
Everybody has the same information
Don't put their names to the club.
ahead of time.
What the club they're from, or make sure they
No,
know their
it-
name badges.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get to that. But the key is that preparation, that the contestants all have the same information. Okay, where are they going? What time? Like just the very basics, but it makes a difference. Okay, Ken?
So, under contestants are treated fairly, you want to make sure that door is secure, that nobody's going to come in while somebody's speaking.
Absolutely.
I've seen it happen.
Yes. That is the host club and your sergeant at arms or someone that's appointed to be at the door so that no one comes in or out. Certainly coming in partway through. And in each of the kits that were given to division, there is contest in progress, do not enter signs. I made sure those were in there. All right? So that you put that on your venue, and if somebody is trying to come in, a sergeant at arms or somebody within the host club should be blocking that person. So that's a very good point. So treat it fairly. Yes?
One thing I wanted to add, when you say have an appropriate venue, you have to make sure that you remember to have an area that the chief judge and the ballot counters can go to afterwards,
Yep.
instead of just standing in the hallway.
Exactly right.
Or in the bathroom.
Yeah, or in the bathroom. And we've done that in Beausejour. We had
Yes.
to stand in the bathroom.
Ladies
I-
need to be on top of that.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, Beausejour's a great venue,
Yeah.
wonderful space, they have a nice kitchen, but if you have to leave, you basically have to go outside to do to do the ballot counting and all. It's not great in that way, but they're wonderful people there and they hold a great contest and they've done several times. And Laverne can attest to that as well. Yes.
I have one question that I wonder if you could clarify, and that is if the club only has one speaker, what is the rule on that?
One speaker, they can move to the area, straight up. They don't have to do the speech, they don't have to be timed on the speech, they can just move right to area. Yes, one contestant. Now, let's say they get to area and they're still the only one.
Oh, I never.
How about that? Let's go a little further.
You have to have a contest.
You have to have a contest
All right,
at area with one.
okay.
So what happens? What does that mean? Timing, judges, okay? But the judges can be just like
One or two.
host,
Yeah.
yeah, one or
Yeah.
two, just from the host or
Yeah.
whatever,
Make sure
right?
everything's been.
What it
It's-
boils,
right.
David, really what it boils time for one person is your time.
Yeah,
If you're over or
Well,
under,
don't-
you're
yeah.
done.
No,
Yeah,
I
there's
disagree.
more.
No, I disagree completely. I
There's more.
disagree. Because
we have to worry about content, and you know, it's the originality. So you
Yeah.
may have someone in the club that
Yeah.
goes forward that doesn't meet the originality requirement, can be disqualified even though they're the only candidate in an area contest. So
And that's why you need
contest
judges.
is
That's
important.
why you
That's
have
why you
judges.
need judges
But just-
who understand the rules.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just one or two, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
We
need
have
a lot,
chief judge.
yeah. You
Exactly.
don't need a lot of judges, but you need a judge to judge the originality.
Absolutely, it's important for the judges to be actually judges. So in the area, we're saying, yeah, it's on page 5. And so we have to ensure that judges are in fact still judges that are on the list, okay? And are running according to page 5 of the rule book, and I have it here. Yeah,
I remember the one time we ended up, they had an area contest scheduled. When they got there, the doors were locked. Nobody was there. So the thing is, so now there is no area contest scheduled. So they're supposed to be having judges and whatever else, as you said. What happens now in order for that person to move on to the division?
so the venue is not available?
Right.
That's your kind of your worst nightmare?
Yeah.
And in preparation, no, really, in preparation, you should be ensuring that, going back to Juliet's point about communication, you want to make sure that communication is well developed to say who's going to be there when, to get the doors open and all of that. And certainly having a contact and a phone number. I'm sure you probably did this or had this happen where frantic calls on the phone. What's happening? You're not here. You know, we're starting a contest in a half an hour. Yeah. So what would happen in that situation? Wow. I would think you'd have to reschedule,
Yep, you have to reschedule.
you know,
If
and
there wasn't time between the time of the area contest and the division to reschedule,
You
the thing is that
reschedule.
You
then
still
there
try
has to
to
be some kind of a decision made by the district in order to decide
would-
what happens for that person, whether he goes
I
on
would,
or
I
not.
would say, this is why for areas, you get your contest dates and you have them earlier on than later. Like, you don't want to start on the 21st of April to say, oh yeah, we're going to have a, no, you want to have it earlier in the 2-week period because of situations like that. You may have to reschedule. And if you reschedule, you have the time. If you leave it to the end, if you contact the district, yeah, I guess we can't really now. No, we can't.
It's a rule
Because there's
book.
no time.
Yeah, there's rule book,
Yeah,
we
there's-
have to
yeah,
follow
there's no
whatever's in the
time.
rule book.
There's no time. You've lost your opportunity to have an area.
So in other words,
It's
those
done.
people then are not qualified then to go in the division. then?
Yes.
You have to have a contest.
Okay.
Yeah, it ends up that they are, you don't have a contest, they don't move forward. So it's a big deal. Like, you don't want to be in that situation. If it's ever happened, my apologies, but certainly you don't want that situation. And it comes back to really communication and prep work ahead of time. Ken?
Yeah, 2 other scenarios. One is a
Yep.
fire alarm. So you would just allow that participant to restart.
Yes.
And the other one
Yep.
is I've seen where the media busted into the room. You know,
Okay.
and we're taking pictures.
Ah,
You know, how do you deal with that?
okay. The fire one, let's start with that one. The fire one, if you're in a facility that there's a fire drill that goes on, we have to obey the fire safety code and everyone gets out. Ken alluded to, he's exactly right. If it's during a speech, the restart happens for that person. Okay, so just for that person and then the rest carries on as normal. The other part, having the media bust in, the media, even though the signage is on the door, like you're saying, like everything is set up, we have our sergeant at arms there or some official at the back, the sign's on the door and they still come in that case, this is my personal feeling now, I haven't seen this in the rule book to say what we are to do with that, but you have to some way corral them and move them out to get them to wait. But put a positive spin on it. In other words, you know what, we're glad that you came, like just use the sandwich method. We're so happy you're here, this is wonderful, we need the press, but you know, can you just wait till the end of the contest outside and then we'll come and get you and you can come in and you can take pictures and do all of that. So put a positive spin on something that could have been very disruptive, and if it was disruptive, like they came in, they made a bunch of noise and the speaker was distracted, the same would apply, in my mind. And you can correct me if I'm wrong technically here. But they would be able to do a restart. They would be able to do a restart because they were interrupted, like, and badly, right? I'm making the extreme here. Okay? Wayne?
So who makes the decision to restart a speech? Like, for example, say one contestant speaks and a cell phone goes off. Can the contestant contest it, or the chief judge has to, or who makes the decision?
A cell phone is unfortunately an unfortunate incident, but it's not enough for a restart. It's not enough for a restart. I had it happen.
Who can make the decision? Can the contestant say this disturbed me, if it's something else, or does it have to be like an official?
Like, do you mean during the speech, they're speaking, and then the phone goes off?
Or something
and
that
they,
doesn't have to be a phone, it could be anything.
No, it's really, if it's a major disruption, like people coming in the room and making a bunch of noise, that's one thing. But a cell phone going off, I've had it happen in contests.
Yeah, no, we're beyond the subject.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But who makes the decision? Can the contestant say, this distracted me, or does it have to be an official saying, I believe that was enough of a distraction to have a restart?
But the problem is if the contestant does something, the clock is ticking,
Yeah,
right? So you can protest, and if they say no, you've lost time.
yeah.
So I would think that the officials have to make the decision because the contestant is
Yeah,
there
the
to
contestant
deliver.
won't.
Okay, so the official has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the official would.
Which official, like chief judge,
Yes.
contest chair?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
chief judge.
Chief judge?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, chief judge would.
I have to say, it happened. I won't look at anybody. But we were at a contest, I was the chief judge, and we told everybody, turn off your cell phones, make sure you turn it all off, and the speaker came up and started speaking, and a cell phone went off, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this poor speaker. And then it went off again, and I'm thinking, oh, this poor speaker. And it was the speaker's phone that was going off. Again, I will not look at anybody.
It happens in Steinbach, that happened, 3 years ago or something like that, or 2 years ago?
2 years ago. Two
3
years
years
ago.
ago. Oh, Now,
There was a sound system, speaker system that was used for a contest. For the one speaker, it was working, the next speaker started, during the first part of it, it stopped. So that person was, because there was such a large room, that person was able to project her voice, some sort of stuff. There was some controversy about that, and I don't know whatever happened with that situation, because the one person who didn't speak already had a booming voice and no problem projecting, but the other person didn't. So I never did find out whatever happened with that situation.
was that at an area or division contest?
That was a district contest.
Oh, district. So something happened with the microphone at that time?
Yeah.
Technically, what's
And actually, that gentleman over there was the one that actually won, but anyway.
you take whatever, sometimes you have to pull a plug. But the rules, certainly at the international level, are this, is that if there is a microphone, if you are using sound, then you put a wired microphone on the floor of the stage. Your sound dying is not a reason to change the contest. It's the contest officials who have to sit close enough to be heard. So, if you're a contest judge and you purposely set yourself in the back of the room, well, that's not fair. So we want the judges up front so that if there is a power failure or you have a systems failure, then the judges can at least hear. But the sound system going on is not a reason to kill a contest.
Yeah, that was the problem in that contest where all judges, most of the judges were sitting towards the back. So that's where the issue became, that's why it became an issue. If they were sitting, like you said, at the front,
Yeah.
they should
That's
be.
right.
Yeah.
So that's
Because-
why the contest chair has to make sure they repeat and repeat again. You turn off all the cell phones, turn off and repeat again. If it's in your pocket at the back, go turn it off. Because sometimes, it is in the back and it was in somebody's pocket. And the other thing, it happened to me at the region contest. I was at the regional contest finals, and it happened to me. One mic worked well, the other didn't. Unfortunately, I got the bad mic, but there's nothing you can do. You hope that people can hear you and project your voice, and that's the best you can
Because
do.
you have to remember, the audience isn't judging you. The
Yes.
judges are judging you. So as long as
Exactly.
the judges hear you, it shouldn't affect the outcome of the
Exactly.
contest. You might have people who are there are upset because they didn't hear your speech, and I understand that, but that shouldn't affect the judging outcome.
All right, let's move on. Eligibility. Be sure contestants and judges are eligible to compete and judge as per regulations in the current contest. A contestant must be a paid member of a club in the district, and the club is in good standing with TI. So April 1st is coming fast. We're having contests. If there's somebody there that's trying to compete and they don't meet this eligibility requirement, guess what? No contest for him or her. Okay, so this is very important. You have to understand that your contestants then are actually eligible to compete.
So you're
Okay,
saying
and you can
that
check that ahead of time.
I could be in good standing, but my club is no longer, and I won in the area. Now I'm going into the division. If your club is not in good standing, you're done.
You're done. That's
Even
right.
though you won. Am I correct?
Exactly
Yes.
right.
Thank you.
The other thing is too, if you're not, it used to be anyway, maybe it's changed, but if it's an international, you had to, if you were a judge and you hadn't done 6 speeches or more yourself, then you can't be a judge too.
Right. Jeanette?
Yes, you have to teach the new people especially, even the old ones, what's required, because we were once not, a new person was not told it had to be original, and they just memorized a passage from a book. You have to tell them, they don't know, you have to tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone hear that? It has to be original. In the rules, it says substantially original, which means 75% of the speech is substantially original. 25% can be, but why would you, as a contestant, take a chance on failing on the originality? Right? You shouldn't push the limits on that if you're a contestant. Contestants must have completed 6 speeches or pathways level 2 to compete in the international speech contest. Right? Okay? So there's a requirement for eligibility. For chartered members of new clubs, can they compete?
Yes.
Absolutely. So if there's a new club out there, they can compete in a contest. They don't have to meet this eligibility.
But that's their first year only, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to be a charter member, right?
Yeah, you have to be a charter
Yeah,
member.
like they can't have joined 2 months
Oh,
as a
right,
charter.
right. Thank you. Yeah, so did I say that? For charter members.
Yeah,
of
it
new
says
clubs.
charter member, so.
Yeah. Okay? All right. Any thoughts around that?
David,
Chip?
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I just need this because this club, I told you, with 2 members up to 19. Say you have, and I've been talking, say you've done your CC, well, whatever, you've done 4 speeches in the old way, we'll call it,
Yeah.
and you did level 1.
They're not eligible.
Pathways, would that not, well, that's 5, that's 9 speeches.
Nope.
Doesn't
No.
count.
Not eligible.
I'm just asking, that's all.
Yep. Yeah, you
So
have to
it's
have,
either 2 level or 6 speeches.
right.
Thank you very much.
But not different with humorous?
Not with humorous.
You don't have any, have to.
Yeah, there's no.
Oh,
there's
humorous,
no-
you're okay. You don't
Oh, yeah.
need the
yeah,
requirement.
correct. I'm
Yeah,
talking
you
about
can give your
international.
icebreaker if you want, if you want.
Laurie?
Can you go back to what you were saying about charter member?
Okay. Now, how do I go back?
Because he
Can
sent them
I go back?
back to the charter.
Okay, for charter members of new clubs.
Oh,
So if there's a new club, yeah, then the requirement is waived to have 6 speeches. You can just,
But if they
Enter.
join 2 months after the charter,
yeah, that's not good. No, it has to be a charter member.
David, I have a question.
Oh, yes.
For the
QG?
charter member here. You're talking about, like, Ken mentioned about that, is the first, only the first year? But you're talking about first year, not the whole year? Like,
Yeah.
sometime
Yeah.
the beginning of, September or the end now?
Yeah.
So the whole year doesn't
So-
matter?
July 1st
Uh-huh.
to June 30th in
Yeah.
that year. July,
The
so
total.
this
July
year
1st
will be
until-
July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019.
Yeah.
so if they join chartered in February,
Yes,
and then it finishes as of the end of June.
yes.
Yes.
There is, for contestant eligibility, there's been some discussion online that the rule book isn't clear this year. It just says 2 levels and pathways. So there's been some discussion as whether 2 level 1s is acceptable or whether it has to be level 1, level 2. And it sounds like the consensus is that for this year, because the rules are not clear, they will take 2 level 1s. Next year, they'll probably clarify to it being level 1 and level 2.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
correct. Yep. All right, judges. I know there's been judges training. I'm not gonna get into all the details around, you know, how to judge, all the criteria, all that, but I will say this. I've had the judges training as conducted by the district. So in other words, your judges, there's a listing you can get from the district to say these are the judges that you should be using. Are knowledgeable with the criteria used for each contest. So in other words, they have a look at the form and they go, yeah, I can do this. I am capable, I've done it in the past, okay, and the criteria I agree with. Because you may have a judge that says, oh, this is like, you know, I don't know about this criteria, I'm gonna use my own, or, you know, that can't happen, right? It has to be the criteria that's set out on Toastmasters International. Yep, Steve?
I just had a quick question about,
Yep.
I've had judges training as conducted by the district, so is
Yes.
that required or recommended?
It's recommended that you have judges that are, because
Not at
they
the
have
club
gone.
level, but past club level.
Yeah.
So it's
past
by
level.
area,
Because-
level?
Yeah, because what happens is at that training, there is certainly valuable information that's exchanged between, like as we're doing.
Yes.
And it gets them more comfortable in understanding really what they're doing as a judge, right? Because they're not actually, it is different, in judging is not evaluating. There's a difference, okay? Evaluations are different and feedback like that is different than judging. It is different. Yeah.
I just noticed the last couple of weeks, I've been to several contests, and I've had several area judges, like chief judges, who even though they had looked at the material, got very confused. Didn't understand exactly how much they were supposed to give, whatever they were supposed to do. I tried not to say too much, but the thing is, it's just that, you know, that I think, even though they may read the material,
Yeah.
they still don't get it until you've done it at least once, maybe more.
So what that speaks to is an opportunity for coaching. Opportunity for coaching. And there's a way of doing it, right? Like if you're at a contest and you see things are way off the rails, you have an actual obligation as a member of Toastmasters International and a district leader to step in, okay, and to help and say, okay, let me help you with this. Let me, you know, because then there's a learning opportunity for that person that's doing it. Because if they're all over the map, they should welcome the help. Because something's not quite happening right. The issue that you have to be careful with now, and wait just a second, the issue you have to be careful with is that, one, you don't want to embarrass that person. Right? Because now they're doing their best, right? So you don't want to step in and just take over everything. No, that's not what would be asked. But you do want to get it right. In the end, it has to be right. So if you can help and guide it to make it right, then I believe that would be the proper thing to do. But do not take over and embarrass that person in front of all those other people. Because, and it's delicate, right? It's delicate. You have to be careful. And it can be done. Can be done. It's all the way of how you approach it and the way you help that person. I know. Yeah.
There was just one situation where I ended up at, I was at one of the clubs, and
Yeah.
the question had come up the night before about tie-breaking judges, thinking that the chief judge could do that,
No.
plus also be a judge.
No.
And I looked it up and I said, they can't be either one of them. And so
No.
when I came there, the president of the club said, oh, he said, I thought they could be either one of them. And I said, no. I said, I looked it up and I said, you can't be either one of them. So they said, oh. So that changed their process. They didn't have quite a number of judges, but it's still, you still have to follow the rules.
Million?
Question.
Yep.
I was told I couldn't be a judge this year because I didn't take the training. I couldn't judge an area or a district, right or wrong. Like I don't care, you know, but I just want to know.
Good question.
We're actually, we want all our judges to have attended judges training. That's why we put it on, and we've done it more than once in the district. It's not like we just put it on one time and, you know, we've done it 3 times. So there is opportunity for you to get the training, so if you don't come, you're setting yourself up not to be a judge. Okay, so that's, yeah.
Do you have to be trained every year?
Yes.
Yes.
So once you're trained,
Okay.
you're not trained forever?
I have about 15 more minutes, but, so I want to get through, but this is a great discussion.
Where do we get the list of trained judges?
List of trained judges. I don't have, you have the trained judge, you have the list. Or Katrina, yeah.
So you get it
Yeah.
from Katrina and give it to
I'll get it from
you.
Katrina?
So get it from me.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be put on the district website,
Yes.
and it went there, and it's not there, so
Okay.
that's what I was.
Let me, judges list, I'm making a note. Judges, I know, it's on the back of this, but.
So contact David.
Judges list.
Contact
me.
David and he will.
Okay,
David?
Yes.
So just one last thing. So
Yes.
I have my area contest coming
Yep.
Wednesday.
yes,
And I do have some judges, but I have not correlated against like
The list.
the
You need
list.
the
And
list.
if it's required, I'm gonna need
You-
Yes.
a contact to find
Yeah.
judges ASAP.
okay, I will get this list. Katrina did one
Give
session,
it to all
Scott
the
did
division
another,
and area.
and I'll send it to everyone, okay? Very quickly now, okay, so judges are knowledgeable, impartial and biased, right? We all know that. Anonymous, and I will get to the program in a second. Division level are not affiliated with any member competing, right? So if there's someone competing, a judge cannot be from their home club. Okay? Able to select a winner. And of course, the judge is there to select a winner. So they have to be able to make a decision, right? I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but they do.
You said the word home club, so let me see if
Oh,
we
yeah.
can clarify this.
Yes.
So, is that home club, or is that, you
Any-
can't be a member of a club that
Any club.
candidate, or that, any club?
Any
Okay.
club, sorry,
All right,
any club.
yeah, I just want to clarify that.
Yep. Okay, quickly. Tie-breaking judge, only known to the chief judge, does not attend the contest briefing. Does not attend. I've seen a tiebreaker judge show up at the contest briefing. No. We don't want that. The person's not supposed to come there. Is familiar with the tie-breaking judge form, right? And they're able to rank all contestants. Right? All contestants get ranked by the tie-breaking judge, and the ballot is collected by the chief judge only. So you want to keep your tie-breaking judge anonymous as well. So the chief judge, if you're that, certainly give them the form ahead of time, and also pick it up. You know, try to be discreet as possible. Like, people look around the room, they'll probably figure it out, but you know, you want to have some discretion. David.
Do you need a tie-breaking judge when there are 3 or less participants?
Yes.
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 Yep. Yes. Sorry.
So for the contest briefing, when is that done prior to the meeting starting, like you're meeting with all the people?
No, typically what happens is you'll come together and then you'll have 10 minutes to break out.
Before the meeting?
With your, you know, if you're the chief judge, then you're going to meet the ballot counters, timing, and judges, and the contest chair will meet with the contestants for drawing order. And,
Right.
but there's a script for each of those to follow.
Perfect, okay.
Yeah,
Is that on the district website,
it is.
those scripts?
It is, yes.
Also,
All the
if your
scripts are
area
there.
dis- For division director, you also have it in your package too.
Here's something very key that we don't think about a lot. Seating of officials. Chief judge asks contestants to rise and then determines if the judges are too close. Because what you're doing,
Anonymous.
if you get your judges to stand, everybody's going to go, oh yeah, there's all our judges. Right? So you want the contestants to stand, not the judges. They're anonymous. Timers sit where only the contestants can see the lights. Because typically, they're in the front. Not in the back. They're in the front. They're visible. And then, you know, your ballot counters, your contest chair and chief judge are going to sit, well, certainly your ballot counters are going to sit dispersed. Of course, you'd want to try to have them in separate parts of the room so that when they go to collect the ballots, they're coming at it, you know, from like all sides. The contest chair, where does he or she sit?
It's in the front.
In the front. Yeah. because that's the person that's running the contest. So when someone comes up, they need to go somewhere. Where are they going? Left or right? Just like a regular meeting. So you got to have chairs there. Chief Judge, where does he or she sit? Can be anywhere, right? Can be anywhere. But the contest chair needs to be at the front. Okay, these are some of the things we don't really wrap our heads around when we come to contests.
Yeah, because
But
they're not
it's some-
judging anyway, so.
Yeah, so, just be cognizant of who you're actually calling as a chief judge. You're calling the contestants this time. And then you're seeing where the judges are and where the contestants are. Sometimes you get contestants sitting side by side. I mean, you can have that. But the judge can say, no, I want to split you. It's okay. You don't have to, but. Yeah, they can, I know, but chief judge.
At the international, they line you up like a
They
fire.
line you up.
Yeah,
I
they all
know.
sit together.
They line you up, they all sit together. Okay, the numbers, club level. What do you need? 5 voting judges? This is right out of the rule book. I know, there's a lot of writing on my slides, I know. But nevertheless, I want to get this out there because this is what you need. Look at what happens as you go increase into the contest season. At division level, what have you got? 7 voting judges from 5 and 5. So just to wrap your head around that, from the list, and there's quite a list. It's going to be 30, 35 people. Okay, so from that list, you need 7.
No. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay? Okay, so no chief judge, voting judge, or tiebreaker judge. Could be a member of any club in which a contestant is a member. So when we come now to splitting up the divisions where we go to, my job will be to put Tekla and Laverne where they're not affiliated with any of the clubs that have represented in the division. Okay? So, yes.
The other thing is, does everybody understand what an area director does, what a division director does in terms of
Thank you.
chief judge or?
Perfect question. You're leading this right into me just like perfectly. Oh, but hold on. Let me talk about the program very quickly. Each contestant is listed in alphabetical order. Why?
Fair enough.
You guys all know that. Perfect. Their accomplishment designations are not printed on the program. Right? Judges are not listed on the program for the obvious reasons, right? You don't want everybody to know who the judges are. And you don't want to know, for a contest, what does it matter if you got your DTM or 2 or 3 or none? It doesn't. All other officials can be listed, including the chief judge, right? So all like ballot counters, timers, all of them can be listed. Interviews. Oh, I've seen some really good ones, and I've seen some really bad ones. Interview contestants when all contests are done. All contests. Ask each contestant what club are you representing and how long have you been a Toastmaster. 2 very basic questions right up front. And everybody gets asked that. And then you go to the profile. And you pick out some stuff from the profile that you can have fun with. Because the audience wants to learn a little bit of, maybe what's his interest. Well, he likes to go, play polo. Or something, right? Like some obscure thing. But you can talk about that.
You can also ask the contestants, the chief judge in the briefing is, what question would you like me to ask you?
There you
So
go.
then right away, you're dead on in terms of the contestant.
Yep, perfect. You want to do that. David?
Can you ask them a question that stems from their speech? Like in your
Absolutely.
speech you talked about, tell me more.
You know what? If you can do that, it's a table topic standing on your, on your feet and doing impromptu. If you can do that, kudos. That's fantastic because it shows a lot of different things which we won't get into right now, but certainly that is a good thing to do.
Is there a limit to how long these interviews last?
I'm getting to this. Keep questions relevant and appropriate. Equality of time. Oh my God. I went to a contest last year where the interview questions for one contestant was like very short maybe a minute and a half, to 5 or 6 minutes. What does that do? What does that do? Totally unbalanced. Like at that point in time though, like the judges already have all the information they need, but why would you ever allow, as a contest chair, someone to have 5 or 6 minutes and somebody
Over
else
here,
have a
David.
minute? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I'm gonna stand up on this one.
Yeah.
Heckler might remember this. 6 contestants. They were out, they went through all the 6 contestants. Do you remember this? And they still hadn't come back in the ballot.
Ah.
What do you do?
Announcements.
Done, done, done. Remember? Done. Jokes, done. You know what we did? No. We called up some of them again and gave a little bit more blur on what they like. It went on and on. It was actually a, what do you call it, marathon? Somebody plagiarism.
Oh, okay.
Bad word, I know. Sorry.
Well, you know, as a contest chair, you have to be ready for this kind of a situation. You really do. And it comes back to the prep work, that what happens if they stay out too long and you're already done? Well, you as a contest chair have to fill that space. And we've already announced announcements, you know, maybe the upcoming convention. So there are ways to stretch it, but then you get to a point, you're done. Then what do? So you have to come up with ways to do that. And I know my time is getting short. So club contests, I'll be really fast. You can have a look at this for yourself. It must comply with the rules. The result is final. Paperwork used and the contest rule book. Okay? For club contests, which are basically done. Okay, now if we go to area, chief judge is the division director. Contest chair is the area director. Right? Equal representation of the contest officials. Judges can be from clubs of the contestants. Okay? But it should be even. Equal. Equal.
Do they have to be trained this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What if
Yes.
you're the chief
If
judge?
you don't have any?
David?
Right? It happened.
If you don't have any that are on the list,
Yes. No.
call for help. Yes. Call for help.
Send out emails.
Call for help.
Who gets the trained judges for the area contest?
The chief judge. Yeah, so division director. Yes.
And David, I was wondering if you could have somebody come into the individual clubs and give that training. Because I don't know anyone in my club that has that judge's training. And that would be really helpful.
Yeah, we do our best we can. Yeah, we do the best we can. Division contest. Contest chair is the division. The chief judge is one of the leadership team. Okay, and the paperwork and certificates are all given to the division director. They have it, so they'll have it available for us when we're there. District, new. I want to talk about this very quickly. Rule changes, page 15 and 16, talk about videotape. District submission to world headquarters, we'll do it. Well, I'll do it as PQD. I send the notification in of the district winner form, region quarterfinal video release form, I do. And the unedited HD video goes to TI of the winner only. Okay, that's new. So we've actually budgeted some money in there for us to actually conduct this at the district level. I know I'm hurrying along here now. Semifinals are held in Denver this year in August. Okay? Okay, I want to leave you with this. Who knows Howard Cosell? Anyway. The ultimate victory in competition is derived from the inner satisfaction of knowing that you have done your best and you have gotten the most out of what you had to give. Wow, that's profound. So the more that you can give into your contest season, the more you're going to get out, and certainly the contestants will appreciate everything that you can do for them. Thank you today.